These are the Daily Tech headlines for Monday, May 7th, 2018. I'm Tom Merritt. At Microsoft Build, Microsoft Launcher for Android is getting the Windows Timeline feature that lets you pick up from where you left off with participating apps across platforms. Microsoft's Edge browser will also offer Timeline on iOS. Your phone lets users answer text messages, share photos, and see and respond to notifications from the Windows desktop. That is a new Microsoft offering called Your Phone. Microsoft will combine its speech recognition service, text-to-speech API, customized voice models, and translation service under a unified speech service. Microsoft also announced a new handwriting recognition service available across platforms and support for the custom vision service in Azure IoT Edge. DJI announced that Azure is now its preferred cloud computing partner. Azure IoT Edge will be integrated into DJI UAVs, and DJI is launching an SDK for Windows. Microsoft also teamed up with Qualcomm to launch an AI developer kit for on-device inferencing on the Edge, and Microsoft announced it will open source the code for IoT Edge. Microsoft also launched Project Brainwave for running deep learning models in Azure and on the Edge in real time. Brainwave is now in preview on Azure, and Microsoft also promises to bring support for it to the Azure Stack and the Azure Data Box. Microsoft launched IntelliCode for Visual Studio, which can suggest the next API to use, available for C# code in Visual Studio 2017. Couple more Microsoft announcements. Project Connect for Azure, a new package of sensors that combines the Connect camera with an onboard computer and a small package that developers can integrate into their own projects. Microsoft imagines it will be used in robotics and surveillance applications to provide what it calls ambient intelligence. It has pre-built and customized models from Microsoft Cognitive Services Suite and the IoT Edge platform for edge computing workloads. Finally, Microsoft announced it's putting $15 million into its AI for Accessibility project. The project will provide seed grants to developers, universities, inventors, and NGOs. Microsoft also pledges to bring inclusive design to its products. In anticipation of Google I/O starting tomorrow, Google released its Android Things toolkit for Internet of Things out of preview. All developers can now take advantage of it. Several Android Things products will hit store shelves by the end of summer, including smart speakers from LG, displays by Lenovo, and products from JBL. Volvo announced that it will add Google Maps Assistant and Google Play Store to its Sensus system, SENSUS, over the next few years. That way, drivers won't need a phone to take advantage of Android Auto. In addition, Google announced Android Auto will soon support group messaging, as well as Rich Communication Service, or RCS. Google's also improving integration and templates for third-party Android Auto app developers. Fitbit Versa and Ionic smartwatches are getting a quick reply feature to respond with suggested text to messages from the watch. If you're also using an Android phone, you can take advantage of that. Windows and iOS users will get an update to the Fitbit app that lets you track your menstrual cycle and see predictions based on your data about cycle length and fertility. 9to5Mac obtained a support document from Apple to service providers and retail stores that authorizes giving customers a new iPhone X if Face ID issues cannot be resolved with a rear camera repair. Now, that might sound weird, but the front-facing TrueDepth camera is apparently attached to the rear-facing telephoto lens somehow. NVIDIA announced it's canceling its GeForce Partner program after the backlash against it. AMD said its partners had complained about the program's restrictions. NVIDIA claims it only wanted partners to define one brand as exclusively powered by GeForce. NVIDIA says it did not object to similar AMD-only brands or separate mixed brand offerings. In a blog post, NVIDIA wrote, "Rather than battling misinformation, we have decided to cancel the program." Nokia announced Monday it has acquired software maker Spacetime Insight, which makes monitoring and analytics apps for energy, logistics, transportation, and utilities industries. Spacetime Insight will join Nokia's Internet of Things product unit. The Center for Internet Security identified an arbitrary code execution vulnerability in 7-zip for versions prior to 18.05. The vulnerability is not believed to have been exploited, and a patched version of 7-zip was released at the end of last week's. JBL and Google announced a new soundbar that uses Google Assistant to control the TV it's plugged into. The JBL Link Bar features seamless HDMI input switching, and the Google Assistant can also be used when the TV is off. ZTE submitted an application to the U.S. Commerce Department's Bureau of Industry and Security asking for a suspension of the ban against U.S. companies selling components and software to it. Meanwhile, however, MediaTek received an export permit from Taiwan to sell components to ZTE. Finally, Xiaomi announced Monday that it will start selling products in France and Italy on May 22nd and 24th, respectively. Xiaomi already sells products in Spain and last week announced a deal to sell its phones through the carrier 3 in the UK and Europe. For more discussion of the tech news of the day, subscribe to dailytechnewsshow.com, and you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/DTNS. We'll talk to you next time.